I've spent 25 years in enterprise technology. I've also raised kids while the ground shifted underneath us. Here's what most parenting advice won't tell you. The rules changed. Not gradually, suddenly. The playbook that worked a decade ago doesn't just need updates. It needs to be rewritten. The gap between what we teach our kids and what they'll actually face isn't closing. It's accelerating. And the hardest part, the shift isn't in them. It's in us. So here's a question that sounds absurd. Do you play video games? Not, did you once? Do you now, as a parent, as an executive, as someone who spent the day in back-to-back meetings and 100 slide decks? Most of you don't. I get it. You're serious people doing serious work. But here's the gap nobody's naming. Your kids are growing up inside systems you've never touched. They're learning to think in environments you don't understand. They're building fluency in something you can't even see. And when they ask for help navigating that world, you're standing outside the door. That's not a parenting problem. That's a blindness problem. Let me tell you about a guy I knew who was fluent in the language but couldn't play the game. He had the lexicon down cold, threw around noob like a native speaker, knew all the communities, the memes, the spellings. He showed up religiously, participated, stayed current. But by his own admission, he was terrible at the actual games. Genuinely bad. That's the thing people miss. Fluency without capability is theater. You can learn the words, adopt the culture, show up in the right spaces, and still lack the fundamental skill. Here's why that matters. Your kids aren't just learning the language of digital environments. They're learning to operate inside them, to build judgment, manage risk, handle failure in real time. You can't coach what you've never done. But here's where it gets interesting. Someone finally asked him straight, "Why do you spend all this time playing games you're obviously terrible at?" His answer stopped the room. "Because I need to build a sustainable relationship with my son, not a midlife crisis, not escapism." A deliberate strategy. He understood something most parents miss. You can't connect with someone in a world you refuse to enter. His son was growing up inside these systems. If he wanted to stay relevant, not as a boss, as a father, he had to go there too, even if he sucked at it. So here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. That dad, the one terrible at games but showing up anyway, he understood something most experienced, highly educated parents are missing. Traditional wisdom is losing to new knowledge. Fast. I've watched senior leaders navigate 9-figure contracts freeze completely when their kid asks about Discord moderation or Roblox economies. The systems that built our careers don't translate. The degrees on the wall don't help. When you don't participate in the spaces where your kids are learning to think, when you dismiss the environments as trivial, you're not protecting them from distraction. You're choosing irrelevance. That's not a parenting take. That's a survival observation. So here's the part that should terrify every parent I know. The world is changing faster than our ability to predict it. The directions it's moving, they don't resemble the present we're standing in, which means the future our kids will inherit is genuinely unpredictable. Now imagine you're a parent stuck in a cultural gap so wide you can't even see what's coming, let alone prepare for it. How exactly are you supposed to help your kids thrive in a world you can't map? The warning is stark. If you're not preparing for what you can't yet see, what's coming will devastate you. The stakes couldn't be higher. Let me make this concrete. Within 15 years, not 50-15, we're looking at brain chips reversing paralysis, solar cells creating continuous heat for pennies, ingestible robots repairing injuries from the inside, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, schizophrenia, treatable. These aren't predictions. These are roadmaps already funded. Here's the part that matters. Most of us won't understand how any of this works. Not the science, not the business models, not the ethics. And if we don't understand the world materializing around us right now, if we can't make sense of what's already here, how exactly are we supposed to teach our kids to contribute to what's next? The answer is, we can't. Not yet. Now here's a number that should make you pay attention. McKinsey put a report out in 2017. 50% of current work activities could be automated by 2055. Half. Give or take 20 years. That's not a distant problem. That's a career span. I've negotiated $100 million technology deals. I know what automation actually means when it leaves the boardroom and hits the org chart. It means roles vanish, not transformed, gone. And the speed of that shift, faster than any employment change in human history. Which means being stuck in the old way of doing things isn't just outdated, it's dangerous. So here's where it lands. If the world is moving this fast, and it is, then the solution isn't hoping schools catch up. They won't. The solution is you, autodidactic, self-educating every day, Not once a quarter when you remember. Daily. Technology. Business models. What's emerging while you're in meetings about last quarter's roadmap. You have to become the student now so you can be the teacher later. Here's the absurd part. Most executives I know haven't read a book cover to cover in 3 years, but they're confident they can guide their kids through the next 30. That math doesn't work. How to actually become an autodidactic parent. So how do you actually do this? How do you become autodidactic as a parent? You get into the digital trenches with your kids. You join Instagram. You figure out Snapchat. You sit down and build an app together using something like BuildFire or iBuildApp. Even if you've never written a line of code, you play Battlefield with them. You lose at FIFA on the PS4, badly. You get your hands dirty in their world, not because you'll be good at it, you won't, but because you can't guide someone through territory you've refused to enter. But here's what everyone misses. The World Economic Forum put out a list. Emotional intelligence, empathy, intercultural fluency, adaptability, resilience. The skills that will actually matter. None of them can be taught from a textbook. None of them scale in a traditional classroom where 30 kids sit in rows and one adult talks at them for 45 minutes. They have to be lived, modeled, navigated in real time. And here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. The collaborative digital environments we just talked about, the ones you've been avoiding, those are where these skills are actually being built, not in theory, in practice, while you've been dismissing them as distractions. So let me show you something useful. The safest professions in a highly automated future fall into 3 categories. First, individualism and creativity. Artists, writers, inventors, entrepreneurs. Humans still hold the edge on genuine creativity. Second, relationships. Therapists, nurses, counselors, social workers. Jobs requiring deep empathy and human connection. Third, the mechanically inclined. Plumbers, electricians, mechanics. Physical, complex, highly variable, hands-on work that resists automation beautifully. Here's the part nobody puts on a university brochure. The safest path forward might not involve a university at all. That's not anti-education. That's pattern recognition. If you're guiding your kid's career path, this is massive practical value. So here's what all of this actually points to. This isn't a moment for panic. It's a moment for redeployment. Yes, the world is moving faster than the people living in it. The curve is steep, but staying ahead of it, actually participating in what's being built, gives you something most parents won't have: control. I've led teams through technology shifts that terrified people who refused to look at them. The ones who engaged early didn't just survive, they shaped what came next. Your kids can do the same, but only if you show them how. You're not a victim of the future if you're actively building it. We've covered a lot of ground today, so here's what I want to leave you with. Will you have the humility to learn alongside your child? The days when being older meant knowing more, those days ended. The world moved. Now you have to become a student again. Play the games, learn the apps, build the fluency, look hard at your own habits. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Your child's future depends more on what you're willing to learn than what you already know. Thanks for watching. Follow for more.